Hello my YouTube family and welcome to our channel Counsel and Quote. Here comes the another video of our Jordan Peterson series in which we have handpicked 50 best Jordan Peterson quotes exclusively for you. So let's get started. Set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. If you fulfill your obligations every day, you don't need to worry about the future. The successful among us delay gratification and bargain with the future. When you have something to say, silence is a lie. What you aim at determines what you see. Accept the terrible responsibility of life with eyes wide open. To learn is to die voluntarily and be born again, in great ways and small. You're going to pay a price for every bloody thing you do and everything you don't do. Power is competence. We have to rediscover the eternal values and then live them out. Pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient. Dialogue is the pathway to truth. Always place your becoming above your current being. Worthlessness is the default condition. It's very hard to find your own words, and you don't actually exist until you have your own words. Become aware of your own insufficiency. You can't go backward in life. All things considered, there's nobody better for children than parents. You positively need to be occupied with something weighty, deep, profound and difficult. If you can't even clean up your own room, who the hell are you to give advice to the world? What's the difference between the successful and the unsuccessful? The successful sacrifice. We must each adopt as much responsibility as possible for individual life, society and the world. The lack of your best hurts everything. Face your fears voluntarily. That's the cure. Life isn't supposed to be fair. Life is supposed to be meaningful. Good conversation is the best preparation for proper living. You have to be willing to lose your life in order to find it. Don't lie about anything ever. Lying leads to hell. That which you most need to find will be found where you least wish to look. Our choices determine the destiny of the world. By making a choice, you alter the structure of reality. Truth is the ultimate, inexhaustible natural resource. It's the light in the darkness. Experience is the best teacher, and the worst experiences teach the best lessons. If you're going to be successful, you need to be smart, conscientious, and tough. Rejection of the unknown is tantamount to identification with the devil. Work as hard as you possibly can on at least one thing and see what happens. People have this capacity within them to set the world straight. The things that pose the greatest threats to your survival are the most real things. It is more difficult to rule yourself than to rule a city. You must determine where you are going in your life, because you cannot get there unless you move in that direction. Random wandering will not move you forward. It will instead disappoint and frustrate you and make you anxious and unhappy and hard to get along with, and then resentful and then vengeful and then worse. Ideologies are substitute for true knowledge. And ideologues are always dangerous when they come to power, because a simple-minded, I-know-it-all approach is no match for the complexity of existence. Strengthen the individual, start with yourself. Take care with yourself, define who you are, refine your personality, choose your destination and articulate your being. As the great 19th century German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche so brilliantly noted, he whose life has a why can bear almost anyhow. What is your friend? The things you know or the things you don't know? First, there's a lot more things you don't know. And second, The things you don't know is the birthplace of all your new knowledge. So if you make the things you don't know your friend, rather than the things you know, well then you're always on a quest in a sense. You're always looking for new information in the off chance that somebody who doesn't agree with you will tell you something you couldn't have figured out on your own. It's a completely different way of looking at the world. It's the antithesis of opinionated. To stand up straight with your shoulders back is to accept the terrible responsibility of life with eyes wide open. It means deciding to voluntarily transform the chaos of potential into the realities of habitable order. It means adopting the burden of self-conscious vulnerability and accepting the end of the unconscious paradise of childhood, where finitude and mortality are only dimly comprehended. It means willingly undertaking the sacrifices necessary to generate a productive and meaningful reality. It means acting to please God in the ancient language. The scope of our behavioral wisdom exceeds the breadth of our explicit interpretation. We act, even instruct, and yet do not understand. How can we do what we cannot explain? If you're talking to a man who won't fight with you under any circumstances whatsoever, then you are talking to someone for whom you have absolutely no respect. As pessimistic as I am about the nature of human beings and our capacity for atrocity and malevolence and betrayal and laziness and inertia and all those things, I think we can transcend all that and set things straight. It's not just human nature to associate in tribes, it's deeper than that. The only time no ever means no in the absence of violence is when it is uttered by one civilized person to another. It's very difficult to regulate yourself, and if you learn to do that, well, it starts to spill over. Everything isn't political. So there you go, people. Thanks for sticking to the last. We'll see you in the next video.